That was the way it was for most kids. You kind of had to go out for all the sports.
There's a blacksmith there, and he had a homemade anvil, homemade forge, everything like that.
He didn't have a lot of guidance because we never had pitching coaches.
That is the first time I fully practiced baseball around the clock. And Scully kind of told me after that, he goes, "Listen, I'm taking a huge chance on you. You better not prove me wrong."
Theo could see what the
I can't
possibilities
say that,
were.
but yeah.
You know, if you work hard,
but
you could achieve things.
Just hanging out every day. Like in the summer, it would just be me and him hanging out because we lived out in the country. So we spent a lot of time together, messing around down by the river, going fishing, chasing turtles in the canoe.
Throwing sticks, rocks, whatever you can at each other and just, just having fun.
we really lived down in the country on the river. There were no kids their age, so they just had the river and us.
They were play pals.
Yeah, so they did a lot of turtle hunting.
They hunted turtles, they fished, they did all kinds of stuff.
We normally didn't play sports against each other in the summer because it was just me and him, and being 2 years older, I was quite a bit bigger than him, so.
We were always close growing up. It was just me and him, so we would go out in the backyard and rough each other up a little bit, throw the football, throw the baseball, so yeah, it was a great time.
Now, if we played baseball against each other, I wouldn't have very much fun with that. Cuba City is a great town to grow up in, great sports environment. I mean, obviously school comes first, you got to get good grades, but then everybody rallies around sports teams, and that's kind of like what we all show up to watch and support all the kids and things like that. That was the way it was for most kids. You kind of had to go out for all the sports.
It gave the kids something to do if they played 3 sports.
Right.
You know, otherwise you're sitting at home or
yeah, that's why we just kept them, and they were good athletes, so we're like, yeah, why not?
The fall rolls around, you're playing football, basketball in the winter, and then in the spring you're playing baseball.
The coaches really wanted them to play too, encouraged them.
The coaches encouraged them, so you stayed active.
Yeah. They're like, oh, you're a tall guy, come on.
Yeah, exactly.
Otherwise, it'd be kind of tough for a high school to field a team. My graduating class when I went there was 69 kids.
I spent the summers either working on the farm, just hanging out, swimming in the river, doing, I don't know, typical country boy stuff like that. Or obviously, doing my blacksmithing as well.
That was when we went to
the rendezvous. It was like a buckskinners reunion where people would dress in buckskins and Native American outfits.
And they lived in teepees.
There's a blacksmith there, and he had a homemade anvil, homemade forge, everything like that. And he actually made it out of a brake drum from a car. And he said, yeah, it took about 30 minutes and $5 to make.
So he said, can we try that? So we learned how to make a forge or out of a brake drum.
And you guys looked that up on YouTube.
And we looked it up and we built one. And
we came home, we bought some metal piping, we put the forge together, we went out and bought some coal, and we started forging with that. And obviously we've grown since then. We have a propane forge and everything now. We actually have a shop. But yeah, we started at very humble beginnings. What made me stick with baseball was I was always a little bit better than everybody else in my conference, and I could throw the ball pretty hard.
He always threw hard as a kid even.
Yeah.
In Little League and pony and everything. He didn't have a lot of guidance because we never had pitching coaches.
We didn't do the extra coaching.
Didn't do the traveling, any of that stuff, but he could always throw hard.
When he's throwing 90 some miles an hour or whatever he's throwing in high school, I mean, there's not many kids that can touch that. I think definitely just stood out. There weren't many people like him.
Saying I was a little bit better than everybody else in my conference doesn't really mean that much when you come from a very small school in town like mine. My assistant coach in high school actually played at Madison College.
And his name was Cal Spurley. He had gone to Madison Area Technical, and then he got a scholarship to Milwaukee, and he knew Coach Davenport, so he set it up to where Theo went up and threw for Coach Davenport. And Coach Davenport was really impressed with Theo, and he said, hey, I got one scholarship left, I got a place where you can room. He went up there, and that's how it all started.
Junior college is definitely a grinding it in the backwoods, really getting physical labor, different things like that. I mean, I worked a ton of jobs, like I said, on the farm. I bussed tables, I was a certified nursing assistant, so I really had a ton of hands-on jobs, so that definitely helped me toughen up. Plus the ogre I grew up with also helped toughen me up a little bit.
They had pitching coaches, they were better coaches, and it just,
the weight room,
it just took off because
yeah.
Theo knew how important it was to really be focused.
That is the first time I fully practiced baseball around the clock, through summer, through winter, through fall, and then obviously spring when we would play. But yeah, that's the first time I've actually done one sport and not three all year round.
And I think that when he was in Madison, Trent was living there too.
Yeah.
So Trent was in the program for the Badgers, and I think that really had a big impact.
As soon as I went to Madison College, I immediately made it a goal to try and get on the same level as my brother, because he would always hang that over me, like, oh, I'm a Division I football player, I played for the Badgers, stuff like that. I mean, we've always had that sibling rivalry, so we've always tried to be better than each other.
Theo could see what the possibilities were.
Yeah.
You know, if you worked hard, you could achieve things.
Bradley came in the picture pretty late because I redshirted 2 times at Madison College, both due to injury. So I had Tommy John and then I blew out my knee. I only played at Madison College for technically 1 year, and then I was hurt those last 2 years and nobody really knew my name or anything like that, so I was pretty crushed.
Coach Davenport knew Coach Scully, and Coach Davenport got in contact with Scully and they had him come down for a visit.
And when I came on my visit, Coach D saw me on crutches. He was like, what are you doing, Scully?
He says, you know, I've never recruited a kid on crutches before.
And Scully kind of told me after that, he goes, listen, I'm taking a huge chance on you. You better not prove me wrong. I came here and did the best I could, and I think I proved that Scully's intuition in me really paid off.
Growing up with him, he's just this little skinny kid that would eat like cheesy popcorn and chicken nuggets and chocolate milk, and that was like his main diet. Now he's got a bunch of veggies, he cooks for himself, he's really got his nutrition on track, and he's 240 pounds, 6-pack, 6'2". So, I mean, that's been the biggest change, is just his physical and how hard he's worked in the weight room and on his diet to help him perform in the weight room and on the field has been one of the biggest changes.
We've really enjoyed traveling. It gives us a reason to travel because you know, to get out and do things.
And we get to meet all the other parents. The parents are cool. You know, we have a blast with them.
Yes. So
you know, it's been a lot of fun.
My time here at Bradley, it's been incredible. I mean, the guys, I always go back to the guys, the family, and all the relationships I've built, but it's been absolutely incredible.